Hey guys, Chris here with Sauce Boss. So back doing more recipes for you guys that are just ways to help extend any of your food. Make sure that we have plenty of food, nothing's going to waste. So last night I was making my Kim Chee. Started it. This is one head of cabbage. Did salt and sugar, equal parts, probably an eighth a cup each of salt and sugar. Let that sit there and we can see that liquid. That's all that good stuff that's going to be getting there. So I have taken a cup of, one head of garlic, peeled it, and then just thinly sliced it. So we have that. You can just use a regular knife and make kind of these small, called julienne, or just like small little matchsticks of your carrots. This one I have 4 carrots, or if you have one of these called the Japanese mandolin with the large blade cutter, I like this. Most restaurants will use this. That's just easier. One thing to be careful of is they're really sharp and you can easily cut your hands with that. So I'm going to go through and just do the last one just to kind of show you. And then I basically just kind of roll it down, going just so that way you kind of keep a decent size on it all. And then just watching your hands as you get close. You could then take these guys afterwards and use a knife to cut them out. I'm going to dice these up later and use these. I'm sorry for my dogs barking at the neighbors. I'll use those for lunch that I'm going to be making for myself. So we got those guys there. I'm going to use about 2/3 of this. And just gonna go cut it. I usually like to do a couple slices, and that way you have a flat surface for it to sit on. And then just go through. Gonna slice these guys. And then once you have them sliced, I like to take and kind of restack them like that. And then we'll go through, boom. Cut these guys into little matchsticks also. Usually I also have some green onion scallions that I like to put in this, but yesterday there was none at the grocery store. So as with anything with food, you can always just change it up. Besides like baking and pastry, it's and some of this stuff, at least on the sanitation and the cooking kind of ratios of the pickling liquids and that for fermentation. Most everything else you can kind of mix everything up. So we got these guys there. Next we are, just move that over. So now I'm going to make my brine. I am going to do an 1/8 of a cup of sugar. This here is Korean pepper powder. It's the coarse blend. I believe also you can find as guguchan. I probably spelled that wrong. Another 1/8 of a cup of that. We're going to put that in there. Sometimes you can find this online under like Kim Chee pepper powder. I like the coarse ground. You can find the real fine powder. I don't really like that as much. Fish sauce. My 2 favorite brands are 3 Crab and 10 Boat. They're really good. If you want to make this vegetarian or vegan, I would not do the fish sauce. But then I would. So we'll do an 1/8 of a cup of fish sauce. And then this is, I just have a big bucket of soy sauce downstairs. that I use for my hot sauces, so I just like to have a small jar that's easier to use. So this is soy sauce. I do use a gluten-free soy sauce, and then we'll do 1/8 of a cup also in there. So there's that. Put this in there. So you got that. And I'm gonna stir it up, and then we're just going to bring this to a simmer, so that way the sugar, the fish sauce, soy sauce, and chili peppers, you get them into a nice homogeneous liquid. They're basically, the peppers and the sugar have dissolved into everything. So now we've got this guy. I just like to use this tray. Makes it a little easier to mix things together. But have this, have your carrots, peppers. Usually I'll have scallions in there too, but I couldn't find them. So now I'm going to take my cabbage that I've used, that I salted with sugar and salt last night, and let it just sit there and start the fermentation process. And I will pop that into the tray. Let me grab a couple of these just to wipe this guy down. Set that there. So we got that, and then we're going to take and mix. I just like to get this just that way it makes it a little even. And if you wanted to make this into a vegetarian one, I would just take and do half water, half soy sauce for the 1/8 of a cup of fish sauce. Just so that way it's you might want to just adjust that, because it might get a little too much salt. You could just do straight soy sauce too on it. So now we're going to take, and we'll take this and all this stuff, all of my equipment that I've used beforehand, I have sanitized and air dried. This will sit at room temperature. I am not going to be doing a traditional canning method. I'll just let this sit for a week or so, and then I like to use this guy just so that way you can just pack it down as much as possible. And there we are. And why I did a couple extra guys, I had a feeling that so yeah, it's gonna make a 32-ounce mason jar and a a 64-ounce mason jar, or a 1.25 gallon mason jar. Then Put all of these guys in there. Get them all in. Take some of the liquid that we have and we're gonna mix it between the two. Probably go a little bit heavier on the big half-gallon guy just because it's a larger vessel. So there. Now I've saved a couple leaves that I had. And the reason you want to do this is going to help out with a couple things. So there we go, we have our leaves. So, and we've gotten our Kim Chee mix. In there, I'll probably have to do a little extra for that extra jar, but we'll just go through and just show you the big one. So I got that. Now I'm going to take the leaf, and what I'm going to do is fold it in and push it down, and this way the leaves, we'll use both, it can cover that top. Because next, what we're going to do is we're going to take, this is a glass weight, and what that will help with is any of the liquids that we'll get through, we'll get that. And then we have a airlock, and we'll spin that, and there you go. Give it a day or two, and all of that will start doing its magic. And there is my kimchi. I'll let it sit out for 2 to 3 weeks at room temperature, and then take out the airlock and the weight, and just put a regular mason jar lid. I don't tighten down the mason jar lids a ton, just because it's live, so if it's giving off CO2, so it's a live culture. So it needs a place for the CO2, or you could have your bottle pop on you, which is why this one has a little airlock here. And actually, I'll show you. So this is the airlock that comes with it, and you go like that, and this will help pull any air bubbles out and pressurize it. Let me show you. So, and this is the company that I got these from. These are really great. This is their box. It's the Easy Fermenter. You can find it on Amazon. You can buy the lids and the weights, and they have the little press. This is just a muddler that I have at home that works really well, and they sell that. They have some really great recipes. It works out awesome. It's also cool because if you look here on the top of them, the lid has a sliding number thing, which that one doesn't want to work. So you can go and set it to, and then know as the days go by how long it's been doing its thing. So yeah, that's my kimchi. Hopefully this helps everyone out and gives you guys some good ideas for this very mellow St. Patty's Day. Happy St. Patty's Day. Yeah, have a great one. Be safe, everyone.